Coming to the name of the Soviet Union, derived from Russian word "koch," meaning Council, Assembly, Advice, Harmony, Concord, and all ultimately derived from Proto-Slavic verbal stem of "veti" to inform, letter to Slavic West news, English-wise erosion advisor, which came to English through French or Dutch "wetten," "wetenschap" meaning science. The word Sovietnik means council. So the number of organizations Russian history called council. For example, Russian Empire State Council function from was referred to as a council of ministers. So during the Georgian affair, Vladimir Lenin envisioned an expression of great Russian ethnic chauvinism by Joseph Stalin and his supporters. So he named as Union of Soviet Republics of Europe and Asia. Then Stalin initially resisted the proposal. The republic began as socialist Soviet, and so several republics there were councillor. So then geography, climate, and the environment. So so it covers a sixth of the Earth's land surface. Size was comparable to that of North America. It had five climate zones like tundra, taiga, steppes, desert, and mountains. So it's like there's been a lot of inclusions, and two-thirds of it was a coastline, and across the Bering Strait was the United States. So it bordered Afghanistan, China, Czechoslovakia, Finland, Hungary, Iran, Mongolia, North Korea, Norway, Poland, Romania, and Turkey. So its highest mountain is Communism Peak. And so now Ismail Somoni Peak. And so in Tajikistan, so it is at 7,495 meters. That is 24,590 feet. So this Pon Parapati hills. So you should see the very nice hills, and most of the world's largest lake. So the Caspian Sea. So in this 7,495 meters, we just climbed. So the base itself is like about some 3,000, so that we could see the entire of the half of the peninsula. So so it is most of the world's largest lakes, the Caspian Sea, so shared with Iran. So and it is a very deep sea. It just like goes on. It's a very experience with Caspian Sea. So it's full of green sea, and Lake Baikal, the world's largest and deepest freshwater lake. It's also an internal body of water in Russia. So the deepest freshwater lake, always that water from inside in the Thames. So just can't imagine. So Lake Baikal. So I told you when I entered, it's very difficult to be in the lake. It's full of clay. Let's start with so and it contains the reddish also. So thrilling and full of thrilling experience. So history of the Soviet. The last Russia, Tsar Nicholas II, ruled the Russian Empire, and there was a February Revolution, and the full of the jasmine flowers and February, and so so next comes so we just went to history, I think. Yeah. So that is the revolution and the foundation. So Decembrist revolt was there in 1825. So the December flowers, the blue December flowers, and the pinkish December flowers, and so how did I find Russia and the map? So it's just about the pathology which lies within it, the greenish fluorescence. So everywhere, when you find the greenish fluorescence, it's just Russia. Just click on Russia, and from absolute to constitutional monarchy, and so Tsar Nicholas II, social unrest during World War One. Lenin, Trotsky, Kamenev, second anniversary of the October Revolution, and a spontaneous popular uprising in Petrograd, and so the Tsarist autocracy was replaced. The Red Guard stormed the Winter Palace in Petrograd. So there was an armistice signed with the Central Powers. So there was a signing of Treaty of Brest-Litovsk. A long and bloody civil war ensued between the Reds and the Whites. So you could see a lot of egg farm. So the ducks in the evening when they just um, quack, quack, actually as a quack. So, so the red and the white ducks, and so there was foreign intervention, execution of the former star and his family, famine of 1921. So a related conflict with Poland, the Peace of Riga was signed. So there are split disputed territories in Belarus and Ukraine between the Republic of Poland and the Soviet Russia. So then the unification of the Republic. So I'm having less time so that I could finish it. quite faster, so I could move to the other countries. Um, but Russia will surely take a longer time. And so there was Bolshevik initial decrees and Gold Row Plan and 30 regional power station, hydraulic power plants, 5-year plans, and the Stalin era. And there was a war communism. So there was a democratic centralism, and so Lenin was to be replaced, and Lenin has appointed Stalin the head of Workers and the Peasants Inspectorate, and so there's a photograph of Joseph Stalin and Nikolai Yezhov, and so it was edited out of the image. So quite a comedy, and so Charlie Chaplin, and so it aimed to build socialism in one country, and the collectivization of farms, famines were there, million of dead, gulags, forced labor, so great purge, and all Bolsheviks, and so just history. I just want to pass by the history, but in order to say about the geography, we need history as an introduction. So, so there were purpose of killings, and through criminal negligence, premature deaths of roughly 2 million more amongst the repressed population. So there was state atheism and communist regime and League of Militant Atheists. In 1930s, Sergei Korolev, the father of Soviet space program, so he was arrested also, and so there was a World Disarmament Conference, and so in September 1934, Soviet Union joined the League of Nations, and the Spanish Civil War broke out. So it was like in 1936, USSR actively supported the Republican force against the nationalists who were supported by fascist Italy and Nazi Germany. So then there was Munich Agreement with Germany, Britain and France, which concluded, and the Molotov-Ribbentrop Pact and German-Soviet Commercial Agreement, and So Manchukuo was a Japanese puppet state, and so the World War II, the Battle of Stalingrad was there, and was a great patriotic war. And the Battle of Moscow, Battle of Stalingrad, Germany surrendered in 1945, and so um, was the Yalta Conference, and invaded Manchukuo and other Japan-controlled territories. So there was an unconditional surrender of Japan at the end of the World War II. So Soviet Union made Japan to surrender, and so there was Stalin, U.S. President Roosevelt, and British Prime Minister Churchill. And so they lose around 27 million people, and Soviet powers died of starvation. So there were big four Allied powers in the World War II, along with the United States, United Kingdom, and China. The four policemen based of United Nations Security Council, and so it emerged as a superpower in the post-war period. Um, so he has given one note is that um, once denied the diplomatic recognition by the Western world, Soviet Union had official relations with practically every nation by the late 1940s. So it was a member of United Nations Security Council, which gave it the right to veto any of its resolution. So there was a memorandum also, and so the Cold War. So, and um, there's centralized control, and Yugoslavia and Albania, and turned them into satellite states, and so a lot of things. So half an hour is not enough. So 1 hour we need for the Soviet Union. Um, there is a Communist Party of China. Um, so the Khrushchev era, George Malenkov, Nikita Khrushchev, and denounced Stalin and de-Stalinization. So it sought to cement its control. So it's like there was a space race. rivaling the United States. So, launching the first artificial satellite, Sputnik 1 in 1957, a living dog named Laika in 1957, the first human being Yuri Gagarin in 1961, first woman in space Valentina Tereshkova in 1963. So I was the one, and Alexei Leonov, the first person to walk in space in 1965, and first soft landing on the moon by spacecraft Luna 9 in 1966. First moon rovers Lunokhod 1 and Lunokhod 2. So Khrushchev initiated the thaw and the era of stagnation. So there was a negative economic, political, and social effects in the Soviet Union during Leonid Brezhnev and Yuri Andropov, Konstantin Chernikov, and so. So there was a Gorbachev era, and so there's about the dissolution and foreign affairs, politics, administrative division, economy, demographics, social history, military, legacy, culture, sports also. So we'll see in the next video. I think we'll make two more videos. Anyways, I love Soviet Union. So keep on.